Hey guys, sorry for running about 5 minutes late. Just going through some information of the knowledge that we want to share with you guys on Facebook. And I'm so grateful today to Pandit Ram Pandey for joining me on this live. And
Jai Sri Krishna to everybody.
That's how we always start the wedding ceremony off as well. So, and the reason why we decided to do this live is, I was actually speaking to Ram about the weddings that we do and what we see during the journey of weddings and meetings and so on. And we decided to do this live, not to talk about what people have got wrong about doing weddings, but I think there's a whole stigma attached that you have to do it in some order. And what me and Ram have realized is the more you think about what other people have done, you will never ever be happy, because it's always a competition, right? And so we decided to do this live. And just before we do go on live, I just want to say that this is not to offend anyone. Everyone has their own way of thinking about things. We're just hoping that hopefully doing this live might get you to think out the box, or you might be able to share this live with people in your family or friends circle who are getting married, because it's when you sort of take control of your ego and actually step out of that ego, that comfort zone, is when you're going to actually create your own magical wedding.
And also another thing, Sagarji, that's a very important point you have mentioned. What is also is us, and what is our understanding, as we have been in this field of Shubha Vivaha ceremony and other ceremonies. What do we see? Because we do so many weddings a year. What we perceive of weddings? What is our experience in these different fields? Because every family is different, every couple are different, and we want to bring that experience, share that experience. How your day we can make that magical. What are the certain key points that you must understand? And one thing I would say, Sagarji, wedding is always understanding with an open mind.
Yes.
It's like opening both arms and try to understand what wedding is about.
So just, exactly what Ram said. And I think that I'm fortunate enough, and I'm so grateful to both Ram and Arjun Pandey, who majority of you will know. And they've been there for me during my difficult times. But I see them as my gurus. If I've got something that I need to talk about, it's really weird that I actually talk to both Arjun and Ram instead of my own immediate friends and family, because there's no they're just saying it with an open mind and just being honest with an honest opinion, whether I like to hear it or I don't. I get told off a lot by Ram and Arjun for doing things that I shouldn't be doing, especially being a Brahmin and being a Brahmin. But there is no expectation. There's no judgment. Of course, it's just trying to make me grow to where they see where my potential is. I'm very, very humbled to be working with them at least 95% of the time. So Ram, I just wanted to ask first, just so people know, how long have you been doing weddings? And how did you get into weddings, and where are you from? Because a lot of people still think you are Gujarati, because I remember a long time ago, when I started doing weddings with Ram, people will come up to Ram and say, okay, Panditji, and I would say to Ram, okay, did you understand any of that? Because I know that Ram is from Nepal. Ram is Nepalese, right? And it's really weird. And again, when I tell people that, did you know that Ram and Arjun and Kamal, they're from Nepal? They're like, no, they're Gujarati, no? Well, they can speak Gujarati, but they're not Gujarati, no. So it's really, and then you see the reaction that people are, but Gujarati Maharaj, he's still a Maharaj, right? He's still from ISKCON. He still has actually maybe a lot more knowledge than a lot of people that I know. So I don't know why that should make a difference.
No, actually, what I see is, although I was born in the foothills of the Himalayas, in the beautiful Parvat Rajas, we say Parvat Raja, the king of the mountains in Nepal. But since the age of 5, or just I was turning 6, that actually went to Gurukula, Guruji's ashram in Vrindavan. And that's where I studied my knowledge, my education. That's where my foundation and my brother's foundation were actually built.
Right. Okay.
In Bhakti Vedanta Swami Gurukula.
Okay.
And from very childhood, we always wore dhoti, we had shaved head, we studied Gita, we studied Bhagavad. And those were my GCSEs. Those were my A levels that I did.
Right.
And at the end, by studying all these scriptures, memorizing, understanding our principles, our vidhi, what our vidhis are, understanding different mantras and prayers. Therefore, you'll see the way Arjunji and myself and the way we recite the mantras may be a little bit different.
Right.
Because we were taught from Guruji from Vrindavan, from the Mathura was the birthplace of Lord Krishna, but Vrindavan is where Krishna resided and played. So from a very childhood, we grew up amongst Krishna's land in Vrindavan, and that's where our foundation was built. And I was in Vrindavan for 11 to 12 years and studied the Bhagavata, and I did my seva there. And then, as I am very closely related to the Hare Krishna, they had Guruji of Gurukula there, and that's where I studied all our scriptures and everything. And from there, I understand. Although I speak very good Hindi, I speak Bengali, I speak Nepalese, I speak Punjabi. But if you look at me, I'm not very Nepali looking.
No.
Yes. No. And so Gujarati is a very sweet language.
Yes.
And the certain principles we have in, if you must remember, every state of India you go, tame Gujarat ma, if you to go Jamnagar jao, tame Gandhinagar jao, tame, Surat ma jao, the principles are a little bit different. They change.
Right.
Same as the north.
Yes.
Well. But one thing that I very much enjoy is those mantras and things we have memorized from our childhood. If you were to give me an English paragraph in English and you give me something in Sanskrit, I will memorize the Sanskrit much quicker. It might take me a couple of days to memorize the English.
All right. Okay.
Because I'm only used to reciting prayers and mantras, and for certain particular vidhi, there is a certain type of mantra.
Yes.
It must be recited in a certain way for it to have its effect.
Okay. I understand. But what made you get into doing weddings?
I think weddings, there was one special field that I saw is whenever the bride and groom, we always say they always have a struggle trying to find the right Maharaj, they think, and whoever it is. And do not get me wrong, not offending, but you get many different types of marriages.
Yeah.
Some do weddings nicely with the prayers, some use an iPad, some use a phone.
Yeah.
But the way we've been trained is we know the principles of mantras, we know the principles of the Subha Vivaha ceremony.
Yes.
It was just understanding the details. And that is not hard at all.
Right.
So what made me get into wedding is when I saw there was a need of Maharaj who is able to speak English, who is able to explain the principles of Subha Vivaha ceremony. Why do we put the Jayamala? One nice example.
Yeah. Why do you put the Jayamala?
Now, a nice example I can give. The reason the Jayamala is put in is not because it's a show. It's because, remember, when the Kanya, when the Varraja is seated behind the Antarpat, right?
Yep.
He represents Supreme Lord Vishnu. And Kanya, who is making her entrance to the mandap, she represents Goddess of Fortune, Lakshmi. And only with the permission of Sri Lakshmi, the Antarpat or the Parda is only then is brought down. Now, the first reason we see, the very first thing they do before doing any part of the ceremony is Jayamala. Jay means victory and Mala is a garland. It's a garland of victory.
Okay.
It's a garland that they have both won each other's hearts.
Okay.
Their exchange of the love and affection they have for one another and their acceptance of one another. And a nice story can be given that of Sita and Ram.
Right.
When Sita Devi's eyes met with the eyes of Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan, she immediately knew that instant affection of love was there. That instant desire, the click was there.
Right. Okay.
Because Sita was approached by so many kings and everything.
Yes.
She never got married to anybody.
Yeah, that's true.
And Ram was not the opulent. He was not the wealthiest. He was in exile.
Yes. Okay. Wow.
So, and therefore, that brings the connection of Sita and Ram. That's where Jayamala comes. And do you know why the Kanya always goes first?
No. Actually, no. And I've done so many weddings and I've never asked you that.
The Kanya always goes first. The bride always goes first. because that is to understand that this ceremony is not been forced upon her.
Okay.
She has made the rightful choice. Therefore, you can see the example of Sita. She stood there with the big Jaimala. Whoever broke that dhanush or that bow would be garland. And so many rajas and kings and came. She was not forced to anybody. Only when Sri Ram came and he took that bow and he broke it, she knew he was the right person. And that affection of love for each other grew there.
Wow.
And therefore, she went first.
Okay, that's good to know.
She accepted Ram as her husband. So therefore, the bride puts the mala. She accepts the groom to be her husband. Yes.
And I think this is, as I said, this is one reason for the live, guys, is because I think people think about everything else on a larger scale, that they forget why they're doing something, you know. And we see this a lot, you know, especially during our meetings. You know, I had just before we go into the next part of the sort of the ceremony and why you do things, you know, one of the meetings I was just saying to Ram that we see the journey of the couple where, you know, they come to us for the initial meeting and, you know, they're all sort of happy, they're all loved up, and, you know, they're all smiling and where they proposed and everything else. And that, it's nice to hear that journey. But then you see that as time goes by, you know, and then, you know, it might be a year before that they've booked. So like we've got bookings for like 2020 where the meetings are starting now. And coming close and close and close to their wedding day, you know, where they both sat together during the meeting. Now you see both of them are sitting, you know, with a seat in the middle. And I'm thinking, guys, what happened? And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, are you having problems? And they're like, no. I was like, they go, why'd you say that? I said, because the first time you came here, you were holding hands, you were smiling, you both looked so much in love. And now all you're doing in the meeting is complaining or arguing about something which is now turned into your wedding to everyone else's wedding.
Fulfilling the formality.
Correct.
Yes.
Which is not a bad thing, because you have to also make sure and ensure, should I say, that your parents, especially your grandparents, are happy as well. How your wedding, and I mean your wedding in terms of you need to think out the box, because there's a lot of people that come to me and Ram or when I have meetings with other Maharajis, and you know, I ask them one simple question at the beginning, and it's just something like, what do you want out of wedding ceremony music? And they don't know how to answer me. Well, they do, because their initial answer is, yeah, just traditional Indian songs and what I saw last time. Well, that's not good enough, because that makes my job easy, which...
Sagarji, so I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, yeah.
Can I bring you one point here?
Yeah, of course you can.
Now, the very first question that you asked is, why is it that they're sitting apart? And I said, fulfilling the formalities.
Yeah.
But what I can also see is, as the meeting, I always encourage to have 3 to 4 meetings before the wedding. So I understand how the day is to be unfolded. What are they looking for? How should we? So at the end, we on the day of the wedding, no surprise from the Maharaj and no surprise from the family. We have a very clear understanding, and we go the way we want the bride and the groom. Now, a lot of time that we feel that not us, but the bride and groom feel that, Maharaj, look, this was what initially thought, now aache and sasma aache, mana auntie aa. Then you have all so much family's input that the bride and groom are so confused to something very simple principle. The simple principle was the groom represented Lord Vishnu and bride represented the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. It is simply a union of Lakshmi to Narayan with the family, Ashirvad from the family, and the guests that have been invited are known as Atiti Devo Bhava, who are simply there for one reason, is to witness and to give you the Ashirvad.
Wow.
Not to make the rules for you.
Yes, okay.
Because it's Subha Vivah itself, it does not have a rule. The rule is love for one another. The principle is you are there connecting together.
Right.
And the essence is the Ashirvad you are getting. And Maharaj is a combination who is bringing all those 3-4 different elements together inside that mantra. The concept of love, respect, ashirvad, and support
Right.
for the bride and the groom.
Right.
So when those things come, where do all these niyam rules come from?
Yeah.
Now
we make the rules. Don't
that's
we?
right. Yes. So with those principles, I always say, you both are Lakshmi and Narayan. You tell us how you want. We can always look into other. Of course, there is formalities and things like that. We can see in which part of the principles, which part of the ceremony, we can add those formalities, not losing the whole essence of Subha Vivaha ceremony.
Ceremony. That is powerful.
Because you will go through all the formalities and you will say, Pandit ji, mane to khabar na pade, shoot hi gayi. What are we doing? Then you have lost the whole plot.
Yes.
The formalities have taken place. You say, Pandit ji, I enjoyed, I understood every aspect.
Yes.
It was, I am blessed, I am blissful.
Yes.
And that's what we try to create, or I and Arjuna would try to create, saying how we can give that opportunity.
Yeah. And I think that's nice. I always say to a lot of my couples, and you know this, that the reason behind and I'm gonna rephrase this word because I think silent wedding is good, but it sounds a lot better if you say peaceful wedding, because as Ram just mentioned, the reason we the bride and groom want a peaceful wedding is because the guests that are invited on that day are
Atiti Devo Bhava.
Okay.
Yes.
And which is witnessing your wedding. And I don't think, it's really weird, because if you go to any other culture, any culture weddings, anything, whether it's Christian weddings or Sikh weddings or whatever it is, or even civil weddings, like if you do civil weddings, during the wedding ceremony itself, no one talks. Okay. And how weird is it that it's just a registrar saying, please don't talk, and people listen to a registrar? So why is it that us as Gujaratis, we have to be different? Because everyone,
all our Indians are the same. It's not only Gujaratis. You go to Hindu Punjabi, you go to
I don't know. I don't know.
North India, you go to other.
I don't know.
Yes, everybody likes to have a little chap.
Yeah, but see, that's okay. So this is good, because this is where the debate comes in now. Because Ram has his views, I have my views, even though I respect Ram. But no, I understand that. But the amount of times I've gone for a Sikh wedding, into a Sikh wedding in a Gurudwara, right?
In a Gurudwara, that's right. Yes.
No one. It is so peaceful that it makes me want to think I want to stay here forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because the guests know the effort and the amount of effort and time that the bride and groom have have put in to create a good wedding for them. Yeah. However, I think people should just be grateful that out of hundreds of people that they could have invited, they couldn't invite because, of course, immediate family and family connections and so on. You should be grateful just that they've invited you to a wedding. So for 1.5 hours, 1 hour 45 minutes maximum, there is time for you to actually be silent, because you're there for the bride and groom. You are not there with your own agenda of, I've heard people say, Sagar, do you know, it's nice to meet you. I said, okay, can you just please, just for a second, sit down, ceremony is going to start. And they literally tell me, we haven't met this family for a long time, so today was the time that we thought we'll catch up. And because they live here and we live here, this place is halfway, so we're going to have Jammanu as well. You're having Jammanu on the bride and groom. So you've come with your own agenda to a wedding that you were invited to, and that's wrong. I'm sorry, but that is wrong. And I know there are a lot of people that say, oh God, Maharajis are rude, and how dare they speak to us like this, and this is, I'm not saying don't have fun.
Sorry, I do apologize, Sagar.
No, good. Of course you can. This is the time to add.
Can I add a point here?
Yeah.
Right? I understand people come with their own agenda, right?
Yes.
Now, what I always think is, the audience that we have are like a river.
Okay.
The river can flow wild, whichever way things is going.
Yeah.
But a Maharaj who is able to explain, who is able to have humor, who is able to you cannot block a river.
Correct.
You cannot stop people from talking, but you can channel the river.
Yes.
when you want them to talk.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? So I think as a Maharaj,
It's the way you say it.
It's the way you say it.
Correct.
As a Maharaj, it is your responsibility. If I was to say I'm doing a wedding, I said, everybody chup chop, it's a silent wedding. They think,
No one will
Maharaj,
listen.
please, you chup chop and we'll be busy talking. Right?
Yeah.
But if I was to say, ladies and gentlemen, I know we are all seated here as Atithis Devo Bhavaha, as guests who have been invited, beautiful dress, not seen one another for a long time. But remember, it's the wish of the bride and the groom. For next hour and a half, everybody remain and seated.
Yeah,
and silent.
people will.
And if you are to not to do that and not to give your ashirvad today, tomorrow you'll regret this because you have not fulfilled your desire or your responsibility while you are here. In a nice way.
Yeah.
In that they think, oh, Mara sachi baat chhe actually. I came here to give them the ashirvad. Pachi baat karu chu. And always you will see that when I start the ceremony, I will start with Hari Om or a Gayatri mantra.
Yeah.
For example, if I am talking and you are reciting the word Hari Om or Gayatri mantra, I am quite confident 90% you're going to nod me saying, listen, stop
Yes.
talking and just say the mantra.
Yeah.
And if you do me a nod once, okay, mane khabar padi hai.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I know it. So in that way, we all come to the same level. At the end, everybody, you know, when you hear the river, when it first comes, it comes with stones and wood and trees and everything and makes a lot of noise.
Yes.
But slowly, when all that is gone, it becomes calm again. So when the guests come, oh, Milvanu Badane Sathe.
I like that example.
And when I'm doing the ceremony, I understand everybody there to have a wonderful time. But remember, Lakshmi and Narayan are there. It is the responsibility of the Maharaj not to tell everybody for a chup chap, but just to guide them nicely and have fun, have joke. Kanyadan is very serious part of our ceremony, and it's the most important part of the ceremony. Let's make that the most important part.
Yeah.
We don't joke in that. We talk about what Kanyadan is, explain what Kanyadan is, the significance of Kanyadan. And while that is happening, everybody is listening. Bangal Fera, where the fun starts. Gathabandhan is where the fun starts. So by the time we have taken through Gathabandhan, everybody's so used to it. If Maharaj says, I remember, it's not nice to talk about jokes which are, let's go to holiday in America or listen. I always make it to the principle of around the mandap, because that is the another name for the mandap is mandir. Man means the mind, and here means where it is at. Lakshmi and Narayan.
Okay.
So whatever we say will make just a little humor, something nice, something pleasant, just from what is happening within the mandap.
Yeah.
We don't have to bring anything from outside.
Yeah.
Because that is so spiritual, that is so jubilant, and that is so wonderful that what is taking place wouldn't need any outsource.
Just okay. I think that's a very, very good example. Yeah, because wedding is fun time. And it is time, and I know why people talk, because everyone is excited for the bride and groom as well.
Yeah.
I think I think you're right in terms of it's the presence of the Maharaj.
Yeah.
That does it all, you know.
Yeah.
Do you want to get that door?
I think my children are here. One moment.
So as Ram comes back, so as I said, let me just say a few hellos to everyone. So guys, thank you for joining in. Roshni, Nitan, Raj, hello mate. A blast from the past, definitely. Raj, me and Ram, that's how I met Ram. The first wedding that I did was Raj and Sweta's, and it was the first ever wedding, and then we have just connected more as I see Ram as my younger brother. And so yes, thank you
very much. It is a pleasure, and I think it's nice that since the day we met, we're able to connect to one another.
Yeah, we have,
and we understand what they want, what the bride and groom want, how we can make that day even more memorable, make it eventful, make it interesting.
Yes.
And make it, I always say, 10 years down the line, when you look at your albums, right, when you take them out of the attic, when you're shifting to a bigger house, and you look at the album and you see little Jado Maharaj, what he's talking about, man. Yes, and it's like,
who's the Jado Maharaj?
I'm the yes. And you want to remember why I was laughing in that picture. What was the Maharaj saying? You may not remember everything, but I'm very sure that will vividly he was talking about something like this. That's what I was laughing. I could not stop laughing. And that's what I always say, creating that memory for the bride and groom. And if I should see them stressed, I'll tell them, Jai Shri Krishna, tamari su problem ji. Why you are not laughing?
Yeah.
It's your day. Enjoy, and I'm here to look after. And Maharaj is somebody, a spiritual person who brings the bond together. And I reiterate that again. He's the one who brings that bond. Maharaj is not the most important person. The most important people are the bride and the groom, and then comes the family, and comes the Maharaj together.
Yes, I agree completely.
So bride and groom are the union of Lakshmi and Narayan.
Yeah.
Family are the Ashirwad.
Yeah.
And Maharaj is the one who brings them together. If somebody says this is Maharaj's show, this is my show, he's not a Maharaj.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's where I think a lot of people are heading towards, which is, there's nothing wrong with it, you know. But I think me and Ram were saying that as a bride and groom, you know, go and see different people, because you will know when you have that instant connection.
Yes.
I always say to all my couples when they come to see me, whether it's through recommendation or whether it's through word of mouth or Instagram, wherever it is, when I have a meeting with them, you know, it's a genuine meeting in terms of I just want to get to know what the couple want. But at the end of the meeting, even if my couple say, okay, Sagar, like, I think, yep, we want to go ahead with you, I always tell them to go home, you know, go and discuss it with family members, because, and I always ask them if they've seen any other DJ, because there are so many of us in the industry, and all of them I respect. I work a lot, you know, alongside people like Ravi from RV Sounds, you know, Yogesh from Naina Events, and
he's a wonderful
Sham Music,
yes.
You know, and even the DJ for receptions. You know, I started doing receptions now, but I still work a lot with Amit from Divine, you know, Camology, and there's so many of them. Nanesh from Musical Movement. So there's enough work for all of us. Okay.
Can I say one more point?
Of course you can.
And I think one thing is, you know, when the couple go and they see a wedding, it's like, wow, we really like that wedding, and that's what we want. We want that wedding. And if somebody say, okay, initially in the initial part, it looks a wow factor.
Yeah.
But I would always say, don't just go because it looks so wow, because it may look to you with your naked eyes now, but when you study a little bit more, you may think, hang on a minute, I really liked it, but that's not really my style.
Yes.
So as individuals, we must open up. I always say, go with both arms wide open.
Yeah.
Right? Don't take a narrow step because you are going to spend everything and anything. You know what? I could have done that much better, but it's too late.
Yes.
So you always go to open arms. You see Maharaj, you discuss. Remember, you must. The more you go to too many, then you get confused.
Yeah. That's
now there is a limit.
That. Yeah.
But there are one to Maharaj that you must read about them. You must understand. Don't just jump to say, I saw that Maharaj do a ceremony there and there's so much. But do you know anything about the Maharaj?
Yeah.
Khabar nothing. Then you're wrong.
Yeah.
Read about it, understand about it, give a call. Say, can you tell me a little bit about your background?
Yeah, I think.
Understand. Because at the end, that is the person who's going to bring you together materially, spiritually, and physically.
Yes.
And that's very important.
And remember, guys, you know, for people who have logged in or people that do see this, if you share it, is it's I would prefer to be one of the guests or a family member than being a supplier. Because if, let's say, you had booked me and Ram or whoever you book, we are playing a very big part of your wedding. And it's so much easier when we were there as guests or a friend than being there as a supplier. You know, yes, business is business, money is money, especially if you do something like this full time, but money completely outweighs the friendship that can grow from this, you know. And Ram knows, and I think he knows now because he's been in a lot of WhatsApp conversations with me and my couples, and on a weekly basis, you know, I will be in touch with them, and it's only to make them understand that, you know what, just remember to enjoy this week of your wedding.
Absolutely.
Because that is the week where a lot of the couples that I get in touch with, the week of their wedding, and I'm like, wow, guys, it's your wedding week. Enjoy it. Make sure you enjoy the wedding celebrations. And the first thing that comes out the bride or the groom's mouth is, "You're more excited than we are." And I'm like, okay,
Yes,
well,
yes.
it's not my wedding.
Yes.
How is it that I'm more excited as a supplier to come and do your wedding, but you as a couple, now if you're going to go into a wedding
Mhm.
or into a mandap with that mindset that, we just want to get this over and done with now, that is a very negative mindset to have, because even if you do want to listen to what the Maharaj has to say or someone, it's just going to go well over your head.
Can I also bring one point here, Sagar? I think there is two things, right? Which 2 points you have mentioned very well here. One is the supplier,
Yeah.
right? Another is a family.
Yeah.
Now there is two things. If you to see the DJ, or especially the Maharaj, I would say, as somebody, yeah, he did my wedding, but since then I have not in touch and I don't know him, then you have fulfilled the formalities of the Subha Vivaha,
So,
of the Subha Vivaha ceremony. But what is not fulfilled is, has that Maharaj really done everything according to our Vedic injunction? So Maharaj is something, is a person very, should be somebody very close, that anytime you should be able to pick, tell the phone, send a message, make a phone call, say, Maharaji, can we meet? I've got questions to ask.
yeah.
Remember, no questions are silly. Every question is important.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always say to the bride and groom, feel free to send me a WhatsApp message. We are young Maharajas, we all got iPhones.
Yeah.
I still use book and pen to get the diaries.
You get paid too much, mate.
but we are able to communicate in WhatsApp, Instagram, Pandit Ram Pandey, and Facebook, Pandit Ram Pandey, right? So in that way they can communicate with us, and I always more than happy to talk in the evenings. Let's meet.
Yeah.
And so in that way, because Maharaj is somebody that he's going to who is going to bring the family together. Now the amazing thing about music and Maharaj to working together is both of us understand. Nice example I can give, right, Sagar? When I say the word Om Rama Dimorote Shukala Niyamena Tishtaha Nana Avataram Bhuvaneshu Kentuho Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapumanyo Harihi Om. Now when I'm lifting my hands up to go in the air, you know your music needs to start.
Yeah.
So how we are, that's what we call synchronized.
Yeah.
We're able to do that together. But if there is somebody else, a lot of time we find this like, Maharaji, we want you, but we're going to book a DJ that is doing the evening reception. I'll say, and he does not know.
Why do you think that is though? Why?
I think there is a couple of reasons. If you look in the overall aspect of what they are spending, I saved a 150 to 200 pounds. It does not make any difference. Right? It's just the mind immediately at that particular moment, it thinks that, oh, I've not booked this DJ because he is 200 pounds more expensive than my reception DJ. He's done for cheaper. Now I'll give a nice example. I work with a lot of reception DJs, and sometimes I get disappointed with them.
Right.
A nice example I can give you is I was at Sharon Hilton.
Yeah.
Right. I did a wedding, and the DJ was the evening DJ.
Yeah.
No names are to be mentioned, but he was doing the DJ. The person the bride and groom spoke to never came because night before he was doing a DJ. She was sleeping. Because he was going to do the reception as well.
Right.
So he sent somebody else for the wedding. He told them to play the instrument.
Yeah.
And the poor person was also involved in the DJing, packing up the stuff and everything.
Right.
So next day he came, he played the instrumental, his head on the table, and he fell asleep.
During the wedding?
Yeah. He is gone from the world.
Okay.
Right? Because his boss told him he needs to play instrumental. There was no Ganeshni prayer. So what music does is it takes us through the swings of the Subha Vivaha ceremony.
Yeah, and trying to tell a story.
Yeah, we're telling a story of Sita and Ram.
Yeah.
We're telling a story of Lakshmi and Narayan and bonding them together from that aspect, right?
Yeah.
But if the DJ is just not doing anything, he's just simply playing, that becomes so boring. After the Mangal Fera, there was no Mangal Fera song. After that, somebody went and said, please switch off the music. It's too much. It's the same thing that has been played.
So, right, okay.
Yes. And there was another one. I can give many examples where the DJ was the evening DJ. He started the first Pharaoh with the fourth Pharaoh song.
Yeah.
He played the song even before while the Havan was starting. So slowly, softly he was playing. So he was just going just before it ended. So he would just go back and Chotu Pharaoh would come I'm saying Pelu Mangaliya Vartaichi and I'm hearing Choti Choti. I'm like, Bhagwan super, what am I going to do?
I think I should train you and Arjun on how to be a DJ. All I need to do is grow a chotli now to become a Maharaj.
No, I think what we have here is the important role that the DJ plays with working with Maharaj as well.
Yeah.
Together we can. That was makes it complete.
Yes.
Right. Together it makes it complete. Otherwise, Maharaj can say so much and everything, but if there is not a music that people can relate to, of course, mantra should be complete.
Yeah.
But our minds are manda sumanda matayo manda bhagyo. We're always disturbed. So many things go from our mind.
Yes.
We think of 101 things. So for that one, music always is very calming and it's peaceful. When the right music is played at the right time, it for us human as through our naked eyes and naked ears, it makes perfect sense.
And I think it keeps, and things like that, actually, I realized playing the right stuff at the right time,
Yes.
whether it's mantra or instrumental or whatever the bride and groom have chosen.
Yeah.
I think people that want to or get excited and want to start talking,
yeah.
I think it brings them back and it keeps them grounded. Yeah?
Absolutely. And also to the guest, what it does is like certain, for example, you specialize in like bride and groom, they like to have certain Western music or from certain movies that they like and things, right? When they hear that particular thing, all the youngsters are thinking, what is he going to play next? For what ceremony is going to play something different? And when we have some songs and they hear, it's like, wow, that song was really nice. I'm going to wait for another one. So they have no time to talk as well because they're so focused. And Maharaj will say some humor from time to time. I will say a couple of jokes here and there. Everybody has a good laugh. I say, ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a big round of applause. And so there is no time for a chit chat. Yeah. Because we have not given them. And that is called channeling of the people.
Yeah.
That chit chat opportunity is not there.
Right.
And by the time they finish, remember, as a Maharaj, I must remember, they're sitting in those uncomfortable chairs.
Yes.
So therefore, we need to get them standing very, very soon.
Yeah.
So therefore, we'll get them standing. Ganesh Puja, get them standing. Ashirvad and things.
Yeah.
They must need to stretch their legs.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll think, Maharaj, hu to padi right? So, and we don't want that happening. And so therefore, I'm very conscious of how long they've been sitting on that chair and how we can make it interesting that they forget that they're actually sitting in the chair.
Okay.
And they're so mesmerized in what is happening in the mandap that by the time it's like, what is the time? And they look, oh, hour and a half. That is so quick.
Yeah.
But if the same ceremony was very dull, they'll think, 45 minutes feels like 2 hours. Now.
Yeah.
And wouldn't want that to be felt.
And I think that is, especially the younger generation, I think they're coming out of it now. But the younger generation, I think a lot of people have stopped going to wedding ceremonies and so on because their whole concept is
boring.
Yeah, is that the wedding's going to be like the wedding we went to last week.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've got 15, 20 weddings to go to this week. So we have to, it's going to be the same stuff. And I think that's where the difference is. I think, and this is why I say to the couple, think out the box. There is no such thing as a fixed playlist. Yeah. If I played a fixed playlist every single week or every day, I would have been bored by now.
My God.
Even though I would have provided the service that I want to my couple, it would have been the same playlist. I've had so many times when the playlist has come back to me and they haven't changed any of the songs. And I've actually sent it back to the couple saying, can you please think a little bit? Because I know I'm giving homework, but I'm only giving homework because this is your wedding and not my wedding. Yeah. I don't know what you guys like. I don't know what you guys listen to, which is why it's good to get to know the couple.
Yeah.
There was one couple that we did a wedding back in December last year. And, both of them actually went completely out and thought out the box because they changed their entire Hindu wedding ceremony into something they love watching, which is Disney. And for the bride to walk into a whole new world by Aladdin, the groom walked into I Just Can't Wait to Be King from Lion King.
Yeah.
You think, oh my God.
Yes.
But everyone else must have thought, how can they play that? Because everyone else only knows what they've seen previously, right? Yes. So they're all conditioned, their mind is conditioned that this is the way weddings have to be. Yeah. Weddings doesn't have to be like anything. There's no formality. There's no structure of you have to play this song here.
No.
I always say to my couples, and Ram knows this, that where it is traditional, you know, Bolkwanu, Mangal Fera, sometimes Kanyadan, the Kansal, the Akan Subhagyavati.
Yes.
If you keep it traditional there,
those we must preserve them.
Correct.
They are important.
They're important.
That's
and
right.
That means also you keep the older generation happy.
Absolutely.
Now, doesn't matter whether you play whatever instrumental or English song, the older generation won't even think about that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so weird that it's nearly 10 months now that we did this wedding. 9 months that we did this wedding, the whole Disney wedding. 9 months down the line, people are still talking about her wedding because they haven't left that wedding thinking, oh, that was just another wedding. Okay, that's where the difference is come out of that box. People have the free will to give you any comments. Don't hate them for it, because they're only giving it to you because that's what they have seen. That's all they know. That is their comfort zone. But if you've built the foundation as a couple, you will take that advice on board. Whether you do anything with it or you don't, that's up to you. But I guarantee you it will limit the number of arguments that you have, because I've realized,
can I also
you know that, right?
Yes, absolutely. Can I also mention, while we're discussing it, if anybody's got any questions, please feel free to throw us some
questions.
Have
got a lot of questions, so we
have got questions, ladies and gentlemen. I think that is very nice, and so we can work through them and work on that.
So we have got a lot of
in that way we understand what actually you're looking for.
What do you guys want, right?
Except seeing Sagar smile and me smile sometimes.
Yeah, we will have our banter anyway. So after, but yeah, no, it's nice to see some couples that we've got married together. Hi Sonal, Dimple, Minas, hello. So Giran Bey Nathwani, fantastic. Our guests simply loved him. Oh, you must have done.
I did, yes.
Giran Bey Nathwani. Dimple, hi Dimple. Bey, you are okay. A great Maharaj, having worked alongside you as a photographer. Dimple Soneji, do you know her?
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
okay.
Yes.
Hi Neil, Preena, Camloy, hello mate. Reena's joined us. Kiran Nathwani again, real priest with real blessings for the kids. I love that. Thank you, Kiran Bhai. Kaushik Bhatia, hello. How are you? So it's nice to see, and so grateful. I'm so grateful that you've actually taken time out, especially it's 8:45. Wow. I'm sure it's a lot of box sets coming on, and you've actually taken the time out to join us on live, which is so grateful for that. So thank you guys. Sharmi, hello. I've got a lot of reply on comments. Nimesh, Jai Shri Krishna, hello mate. Prash, he knows a thing or two. Who knows a thing or two, mate? Preena, 100% agree. The wedding DJ must know the ceremony from start to finish. Guests at Indian weddings always find the most trivial things to talk about at weddings. They never respect the wishes of the couple for a silent wedding. The guests forget why they are there.
And it's the Maharaj's responsibility to remind in such a nice way. Maharaj has to be somebody who's sweet, who's nice, and who's spiritual.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I was to go somebody, I want you to be quiet, then that's not nice. Who is the person? Then he's not a Maharaj then, because he's telling somebody to be quiet when he himself is talking. That don't make sense.
I like that.
Yeah. So if I say, ladies and gentlemen, it's the wish, and let's all remain silent. Let's all of us.
And then if I was on my phone, and then you have a go at me. Yeah. Now, and guys, we want your comments, because we only think we're doing something right because no one tells us anything different.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of people think, oh my God, Maharaj, so we shouldn't say anything to him.
No, feel free to speak.
He's a Maharaj, but outside of Maharaj world, he's a lovely human being. He will not have a go at you for telling you that if you say to him, Maharaj, you should have done it differently, he will take that on board.
I always say, being a Maharaj, at the end we are human beings. There is so much to learn in life. If somebody was to come and say, remember Sagar, nowadays before at certain weddings, I was just, can I ask everybody to shush? And somebody said, Maharaj, that is very rude for you to say shush, because that's not a nice thing.
Yeah.
Then I say, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't like to shush, but we're not in primary school. So say it in a nice way and say, everybody, please Santirang.
Yeah, it's how you say it. No?
Yeah, it's a way it's been said.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think make it understandable. But I think, as I mentioned, our audience are like the river. They make a lot of noise, but let's channel them through, and we take them through the whole ceremony. And that's what Maharaj and music comes together and goes through, and they surf on the wave of what is actually happening.
So, in terms of weddings, I mean, what have you seen? You've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
You also do weddings at the mandir.
Yeah.
So not just outside the mandir.
Yeah.
You still have
at the Hare Krishna mandir,
you still have your seva at the mandir and stuff.
Yes.
What have you seen in terms of the trend, the wedding trend, in terms of how it used to be, let's say 10 years ago, if you can think that back, but how has it changed from the 15 years to now? And why do you think those changes have taken place? Because I've realized that the dynamics around weddings, for example, 15 years ago, people will book the venue. They will then book the mandap. They'll book the photographer, videographer, Maharaj, music, and then anything else.
Yeah.
Now, everything's changed in terms of some people are booking us, but when we ask them what venue have they got, they haven't even booked their venue.
That's right, yes.
Or they book the venue, and straight after they book the Maharaj and the priest, the Maharaj and the musiker.
Yes.
And then they book everything else that goes by, right?
That's right.
But why do you think, what changes have you seen, and do you understand why it's been changed, or are people just thinking too much into it?
And no, I think there is certain change that have come, and media has played a very big role on this one, right?
Okay.
If you were to look at 10 years ago, 15 years ago, mom and dad said, Amare Gharna Maharaj, and he's going to do everything. Generally, bride and groom like, okay. But either he speaks English or whatever language he speaks, they never really question.
Right.
And the wedding was done, everybody talked and everything. In the mandap, there was a Maharaj who looked confused, bride and groom looking really confused, and the parents crying, not knowing what is happening.
Right.
So those were the things that was happening, right?
Okay.
And slowly, so what happens is nowadays, people go to a wedding and they start tagging each other. It's like, hang on a minute, this Maharaj is amazing. I'm loving. And so now the parents are not involved. It's them with their mobile phones trying to understand the Maharaj. And if they like somebody, they again immediately go into Google and try to find who this Maharaj is. And also you find is them days wedding used to be big. Nowadays it's more into bride and groom. Of course, parents push to say, look, we went to their wedding, we must call them. Right? And who 5 gamna wedding mein gaya tha, 6 gamna, Gajamna garna, Gandhi na garna, right? But the Maharaj ne bula pade. And the bride will say, Mom and Dad, come on. We don't know half of them. We don't want them to be coming. Do you know me? I'm your dad's friend's friend.
Yeah.
And you don't want that happening.
Yeah.
So the weddings are getting smaller.
Yeah.
They're getting family orientated. They're getting more friends, family, and people that they know, and that the bride and groom really want those people to be in the chairs by the mandap to give the ashirwad blessings.
Yeah.
It's the people that they're not from the yellow pages.
Yeah.
Okay, or the local Thomason. They're not from those pages anymore.
Local Thompson, yeah.
Yeah. So they're not from those pages. And second thing is the bride and groom our generation getting so much educated, and they were before they even called me. And generally I say, say I've heard about you, I've seen you in Instagram. I some of them say I've been following you for 2 years. Maharaj is like, oh, Jai Shri Krishna. I hope I'm doing right. And a lot of them say I've read about you.
Yeah.
And that is so nice.
Yeah.
That actually people before they even call the Maharaj, they read what they want. And I always say, let's meet together. Let's understand what were you looking for in Maharaj. Not just somebody who goes and does yep, but you want to understand what is the thing that you're looking for in that Maharaj.
Yeah.
How you want your beautiful day, your memorable day when you are representing Lakshmi Devi to be unfolded. We want
that connection. Isn't
That's
it?
right, yes. And the bride and groom must feel connected to the Maharaj as well. You can't be going and saying, oh, Maharaj, my cover na pade. That Maharaj, I'm not sure. But he's getting me married, but I'm not sure about the Maharaj. I just can't connect to him. Then it's a problem. Because you are sitting in the mandap and you got somebody that you are not even confident at.
Yeah.
And you think you are going to get him joined together? No.
Nah. Yeah. No. Yeah. You have to have that bond.
Yes. You got a plumber when you got problem with your electricity. And the gharma plumber and he's like, I got a problem with my electricity. My fuse box is gone. and you know, come na hoy, and you should say, yeah, please do it. You think that's going to happen?
Nah.
Jai Shri
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good example, actually.
Yeah.
Very good example.
Yes.
Nice. Good. Okay. So just before we move on, and
We can keep
we'll
going for a
try.
long time, sir.
We can. So we have to.
Yes. We'll
we
look
have
at the
to
time as well. Yes.
shut it down as well soon. But just want to say a few people. Hi, Lynn. Jitan, what's up, mate? And Kirti, Dream Team. Roll on 2020. Thank you.
Yes.
Definitely, I'm looking forward to it. Sapna, oh, yes, you did Sapna and Sham's wedding.
Yes.
If you remember.
Yes.
Sapna was supposed to be booking me, Sapna. But she says, yeah, hi Ram, it's Sapna here. You did mine and Sham's wedding and we loved your ceremony.
Oh, thank you.
You kept all of our 600 guests silent and also engaged in the ceremony.
I'm blessed.
Our guests are still talking about your amazing service. Thank you, Sagar, for recommending Ramji to us. Anytime, Sapna. You know, I'm just so glad that you got the ceremony that you wanted.
Yeah.
And hi, Radhika. So, yes, Radhika, hello. Chandani, hello. Radhika just joined. I'll have to catch up from the start. So, Radhika is one of the, she's also a wedding planner.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, as I said, just when we finish off, you know, wedding people have this, it's all about grand weddings now.
Yeah.
And it's good to do a grand wedding if you want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Not if parents want to do it, not if cousins want to do it, not because your sister done it, because I see a lot of competition between siblings now, and I think, wow, you know, and we hear this during our meetings. So it's good to do grand weddings, but don't do it because of someone else, and don't do it because of competing against someone else.
There should be no social pressure on that.
Yeah. One of the things that someone had said recently is you are better to put on a smaller wedding and have a longer marriage than putting in a extravagant wedding and having a shorter marriage. Because what happens is, and whether I've realized that or whether people that the circle that I'm around and we see a lot, especially when you keep in touch with a lot of couples, that it's all well good and a full steam ahead planning your wedding, and oh my God, I'm getting married at this castle, and we have got the best suppliers, and we got dual players from India, and you know, we got whatever it is, right? All that is to do it, yeah, without the expectation of what other people are going to think, because everyone, I'm not, this is not me being rude, it's actually just me being real. No one cares, right? Because once that wedding is done, they will talk about it, done, dusted, it's finished. It's good. And so if you do it because you want to do it, you don't care if anyone cares. Yes. Because you wanted to do that wedding the way you wanted to. If you care and think about, if you think too much into what other people are going to think, just remember, by the time, if you've got your wedding, let's say in Wales, and half your guests are coming from London because you found a lovely venue in Wales, by the time they leave their house, which is 3 hours earlier than what they would have left if you had it in London, they're already started complaining. They get on the M1, they get stuck in traffic, they're complaining. So before they even got to their wedding, to your wedding, they've already complained. Which is why I say this is the whole concept and the reason behind saying to people, you know, choose the songs you want. And they're like, but Sagar, you know, guests might complain. Well, who cares? Because guests have already complained anyway. Before they got to their wedding, they already complained that they didn't find parking in the VIP area. Okay? You know, so forget, it's good to have your guests, it's good to care about people and have people and being a witness. But if that takes over you, you are not going to enjoy your own wedding. That's right. Which is why a lot of my couples, the week of their wedding, when I speak to them, they say, Sagar, I can't be bothered. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't be bothered? It's your wedding in 3 days. They're like, we just want to get it over and done with. We want to go on a honeymoon. Now, the problem here is you going with that mindset that you can't be bothered. you're not going to enjoy the day on the wedding day. And then when you get to your honeymoon, you're going to be so exhausted from everyone else's input. Now it's turned into everyone else's wedding. And then remember, when you're on your honeymoon, all you're talking about again is your wedding. Then you finish your wedding, you finish your honeymoon, you come back home, then you have to have jamwanus. So all you're talking about again is weddings, your wedding. So your wedding talk never ever stops.
Yeah.
Which is why I said to Ram, what people forget to do is, if you have, and I can't say anything to you because I am not a mentor, I'm not a coach, I'm only saying from what I've seen, okay, if there's right or wrong or whatever it is. If you ever have any issues or there's any arguments or there's conflict with family, just try and take a step back and remember why you two are together in the first place. Because there's a reason why you two are together.
Yes.
Right? That wasn't because of family. That was because you two both loved each other.
Yeah.
Right? If you think about Ram Sita and Ram, or Ram could have easily said to Sita, well, this is not on and so on. However, Sita was a wife and Sita followed Ram wherever he had to go. Right? She could have easily said no. She could have stayed there. She had the choice to stay there. Okay. But just remember why you are together. And it's really weird because when it was just you two as a couple, as girlfriend, boyfriend, you didn't know any of the family members, didn't know any friends, you were the perfect couple. Yeah. There were arguments, but it was minor things. You would sort it out at that point. And I think that's where the communication comes in. I was realized that when it's the communication side of things, and I myself, as well in it, you don't send, you know what you want to say, but you don't say it at that point because you don't want to create a scene.
That's right.
So you think that, you know what, I am just going to keep this in this time because I don't want to create an argument. But then what happens is that happens again and again and again.
It becomes
and
a
again.
volcano, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
And then by that point, as I said, it's something, as I said, that me and Ram see a lot now.
Can also bring two. Sorry to cut you off. Can I bring 2 points here as well?
Yeah.
Nothing. You talked about like big places and like big grand weddings, things, right?
Yeah.
Now let me just give you 2 examples. Okay. One before the wedding.
Yeah.
And one after the wedding.
Yeah.
Okay. Now before the wedding, let's consider a cage.
Yeah.
That to be the grand place, which is beautifully decorated with flowers and mandaps, and you can talk about whatever you want to, right? And those 2 little birds.
Yeah.
That are seated in that cage on either side. Remember, they walk in very different time.
Yes.
But that mercy, that bonding, that spirituality, that ashirvad of the family and the guest is not there. And that let's consider that all of that to be the wonderful food that is being served.
Yes.
And the 2 little birds are there sitting in one side, watching everybody, but nobody's giving them the beautiful kansar of ashirvad. The kansar, the Maharaj not giving them bond of their blessings through the prayers and everything. So what purpose has that beautiful cage of palace and decorations? What is that served? Nothing, isn't it? Because those 2 souls, those 2 birds are not getting to eat anything. They're simply watching, and that desire is not fulfilled.
Yes. Okay.
And once they get married, they're like 2 horses. And horses, in a chariot, you see 2 horses, right? And that chariot is the responsibility of marriage life of a household.
Yeah.
If the 2 horses, when they came together, they were friends, right? And they remain friends. And the person who is initially driving that chariot is the family member.
Yeah.
Who brings those 2 couples together, who brings the families together. You go to Jamanu before the wedding, you meet each other, 2 families go to each other's house and meet.
Yeah.
So it's the family members who are driving that chariot.
Yes.
Now they have driven to part of the mandap. They got married in that beautiful cage, but they did not receive the ashirvad because they were so busy decorating the cage that they forgot that inside there is the birds, the 2 souls, beautiful souls. And they become married and they're horses again, right? And so those 2 horses, now they've got their own mind because tamari karma a problem che and marima a problem, your auntie said that to me and my auntie said that to me. So now we have these 2 horses who don't have a blinker. They have their mind of their own. but they both of them are carrying this chariot of their household. And what happens? They're running, but if they were to run with the same mind, same dedication, same devotion, they can run for thousands of miles. But what is all that done, that beautiful decoration of the cage and everybody's input, is that those horses have their mind of their own. Because so much was said to them, so much was done to them and everything, that now they're carrying the responsibility of that household, that marriage life, but they have the mind of their own. What happens? Eventually, they'll start running their own way. And when these two horses start running this way, what happens to the chariot? It falls apart. So, parents' Ashirwad, the Maharaj bringing them together, is all making sure they understand their responsibility, understand what they're there for each other. And let's forget about everybody else. You do well, everybody say, "Last saras."
Yeah.
And you don't do get a pagal se. The same person will say that. And it okay khabar nathi.
Yeah.
But if you the body get last saras kapal se, oh my Bhagavan. Right? They'll do that.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And so you get that.
Yeah.
In families.
Yeah.
And so is up to the bride and groom, that cage that they have of that palace, of the whatever the dream that they have, make sure when they are seated inside that cage, when that mandap, make sure they're fed with spirituality, love and affection for one another, and that bonding. And that gives them the energy, the strength, the dedication
to get through everything.
And to get through, that should be the laying foundation. Being married gives the title of husband and wife.
Yes.
But they must remember, simply the title is not enough. They must be the best friend to each other.
Yeah.
The beginning days when they met one another. How wonderful they'll be sitting and just looking at each other and smiling. You want that to be continued after the wedding as well. And that's what the foundation. I always say, may you be as husband and wife together, but more than that, may you be the best friend to each other. Support your weaknesses and build on your strengths.
Yeah. And just touching up on that as a final thing is, I think that's what it is. I think people love the idea of weddings, but they don't know what's actually involved in being a married couple.
Yes.
And one of the things I touched up on a couple of weeks ago was how many people, and I left this as a message, is how many people have actually looked back at their vows and actually reflected and acted on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think anyone.
I hope there are some people who have done that.
I hope they have.
Yes. I hope there are some people
but
here.
I think a lot of people, this is what I'm saying, there's a lot of people love the planning of the wedding.
Yes.
The
magical miracle.
You said the whole chariot thing.
Yeah.
If you've lost if you forget about the whole concept and the whole reason behind it, then it can only last so long.
Absolutely.
And again, guys, this is not me putting a negative flip on this, but I'm only saying it because, as I said, especially this year, I've got 4 or 5, I think 5 people who, because I keep in touch with all my couples and have done over the last 10 years, I've every single year I speak to people and I'm like, oh, happy anniversary, or how is this person? The amount of people that have come back to me and saying, oh, Sagar, we've been divorced, or we're going through a separation, or we're not getting on. And every time I've asked my couples, and again, I'm not a mentor. For some reason, they can reach out to me. I don't know why, but I'm there to listen, if they want to talk. But when I ask them a simple question of, wow, but your wedding was like amazing. You were like the best couples I had. You fell in love, this and that, your journey. And every single time that I ask my couples, what is the reason behind this? The only thing they say is, none of them have told me they don't love each other. It's always, this person, I don't get on with this family, this person. And I think the whole thing, the whole concept of putting on this large wedding is a good thing, but build your foundation first.
Absolutely.
Okay. Because then if you built it to this level, doesn't matter how many people are coming in at this level, it will never ever affect you.
Yes.
And I always say, smile at the people that hate you.
Yes.
because you know what, they actually hate it because nothing gets to you, right? And the reason why a lot of people have their input is I truly believe a lot of people, as I said, it's still competition. A lot of people are not happy where they are, so they always want to try and sort of pick on someone else at that point. Or a lot of people are jealous. You know, unfortunately, we live in this world where social media, especially Facebook and Instagram, have taken over in terms of, oh my God, you know, this person's been married only, you know, a year, and my God, they bought a 5-bedroom house. What you haven't seen is how long have they been together, and how long did they know they were going to get married, and how long have they been saving for that 5-bedroom house? Because no one put that up on Facebook. All they put up on Facebook, we've got a 5-bedroom house, you know? So don't judge people. Don't, you know, forget the expectation side of things, because I'd be happy for them. I realized one thing is when people are successful, people don't want to support that. They don't want to support their success. Instead, they want to bring those people down.
Yes. And there is also,
jealous, right?
And also one thing, Sagar, right? One's heart has to be like an ocean. You'll see the ocean, thousands of rivers go to the ocean, don't they?
Yeah.
Does that ocean ever overflow? No. Stays the same. When the tide goes in, tide goes out, and it's the same. So when people are saying whatever they want to say, take it in, makes you wise.
Yes.
But if you have to go, no, he said this to me, then you have come to that level. You don't want to do that.
No.
Let them say, no, koi want to say, nothing, no problem. Just say Krishna. Until the Lord looking after you, nobody can. We say in Sanskrit, Rakhi Krishna Mare Ke, Mare Krishna is a Bengali saying.
Okay.
If Krishna wants to save you, nobody can kill you. And if Krishna wants to take you away, nobody can save you as well. Right?
Okay.
So I'll tell you, now we're about to go off. I'll tell you a little pastime here, right?
Yeah.
That there was a little pigeon, right? That was sitting in the branch, and Yamaraj was sitting on his buffalo, and he was going through, and he looked at the pigeon, he smiled. And pigeon was so scared that I am going to die. So who's the king of the birds? Is Garuda, Lord Vishnu's carrier. And seeing the pigeon was praying to Garuda and seeing his stress, Garuda ji came and said, what has happened? And he says, Yamaraj looked at me and he smiled, means I'm going to die. I don't want to die. Nobody wants to die. And Garuda said, okay, I will take you to the Patala Lokas. So far away from the material universe, the Yamaraj cannot touch.
Okay.
So Garuda carries him, and Garuda is free to travel. He's Lord Vishnu's carrier. So he takes him to this another planet, Patala Loka, and keeps him there. And when he reaches, pigeon dies.
Oh.
And Garuda immediately goes to Yamaraj. Yamaraj, why did the pigeon die? You were smiling at him. He said, I was just smiling how this simple pigeon is going to fly so into another planet to die. I just could not understand the concept. So Garuda carried him to his death. And his understanding, if Krishna wants to take you away, wherever you are destined, it goes. And so whatever comes to you, take it, no problem. Because then you have more maturity, you have bigger heart, and you understand. And people like that, who can take like this, never entangle in this little chitty-chatty business and everything. Because they're always above. They're always above the thing, and they'll always make the right decisions.
That's,
Let the world say, Jai Shri Krishna. When they love each other, the bride and groom, as husband and wife, hold each other's hands and say, we are there for one another.
Amazing.
Not for the world. And they can cross the rivers of any obstacles.
Of course. Well, which is why you start the ceremony by crushing the samput, no?
Yes, yes.
Right. And this is what I say, people don't, I think they do things because, again, it's formality.
Yeah.
But I think they should understand
the very deep meaning behind
it, right?
Yes. And that's why the shank is also blown. That cracks the ether as well. That if there is anything inauspicious, that may that be following the Varaja, may that be left from where he is. So therefore the shank is blown before the Varaja even makes his entrance to the mandap. Wow. Krishna is to blow. Panchajanya Rishikesha Deva Datta Dhananjaya. Remember the beginning of the battle, the shank were blown as well. And it started in a similar, anything auspicious activity that was done. Krishna always says in the Gita, by blowing the conch shell, it makes that place auspicious, it makes that place a mandir, and Varaja represents Sri Vishnu. So when he's making his entrance, he even crack the ether so that anything inauspicious may that always remain behind and not follow him to the mandap.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, guys, so just a quick few hellos, and as I just read these out, Ram can think of 3 wisdoms quotes that he wants to share with you guys just before we end it. So
I have said all my wisdom.
and
quotes.
I'm sure you got more.
Oh, Jason.
And hi,
You're putting me
Sonal,
under
Taj,
pressure now.
Mukesh, hello. Bhavna, Andrew, Nishi, hello. How are you? We did, we did Nishi's, no?
Yeah.
No, yeah, we did. No, we did Raki's, Raki Panchasara, yeah, sorry. Hema, Nikita, Yogs, hello, mate. Bijal, see you in 2020. We definitely will. Hariom. It's nice to see so many of our old, the couples that we've done weddings for. Baz, hello, mate. And Jitan Bey, hello, how are you? I've done a lovely wedding with Jitan Bey in August, and actually earlier this month. And it was nice because, you know, I do weddings a lot with Ram, and it was nice to do a wedding with Jitan Bey Bias. Yes, we're not related, we share the same surname, but it was nice to see how Jitan Bey does his weddings as well, because and again, I think with Jitan Bey as well, it's I've never worked with Jitan Bey, so of course I was very not cautious. I've worked with Jitan Bey, who is Jitan Bey's father, and I knew straight away that, you know, if I had connected with Jitan Bey in advance, and just get to know how he does his ceremonies, because as Ram said, the guests are important, the bride and groom are the most important, but I also think, you know, people have got the concept wrong that Maharaj, music is the most important. I'm like, no, the music is there to complement the mantras. Mantras have to be said.
Yes.
If you don't want the mantras to be heard, and I don't mean to be rude, but if you don't want the mantras to be heard, then don't have a Hindu wedding.
That's right, yes. If the mantras are not said in correct way,
then don't do a Hindu wedding.
Then it does not serve the purpose.
It doesn't.
Right? Then I rather just say whole thing in English and get that English ceremony.
But there's no point doing it.
Yeah,
you rather, because legally in the UK, you're married by civil.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So this, serves a purpose for us, but you can just do I do, you know, and you're married, right?
But you don't know what you do then.
No, I know. We just say that it's 15 minutes. People can keep quiet for 15 minutes, right? But Jitan Bey, much love to you. Thank you so much, because, you know, as I said, you showed me another way of how you do weddings, and we served Risha and Uncle. You know, there was such an amazing couple, and, you know, we worked very well together. As long as, you know, I got to know Jitan Bey in advance, and I told him exactly what the couple want from the music perspective. On the day, we just quickly done a quick rehearsal. This is what it is, and he gave me the cue points, and no one knew any different. In actual fact, a lot of people had thought and come to me saying, "Oh, you might this Maharaj a lot." I'm like, "Nope, this is the first time." So just also remember, if there's anything that goes wrong, no one knows it's going wrong. The only people that knows that you're running late or the bride's running late is you two. So one word from advice from me, before I get one word of advice from Ram, is delegate everything out, especially the week of your wedding. Enjoy your wedding celebrations. I don't want to chase my couple for contracts and payments and songs. That's not the week that should be done. You know, enjoy your wedding celebrations. Delegate it. Once you've delegated it, stop thinking about it, because you've done, as long as you know in your heart that you have done as much as you can to make this your perfect wedding, that should be enough. On the day, if something has gone wrong, as I said, the only people that know is you, the priest, and maybe immediate family. No one else knows any different. So, couples, bride and groom, when you walk down the aisle, smile, right? Don't have a tired, grumpy face that I don't want to be there, because the one thing that you can control in your life is to smile, right? Because if you don't smile while you're walking down the aisle, or if you don't smile while you're getting married in the weddings in the mandap, then you're going to start having a go at your photographers, your videographers, or why did my photos come out like that? That's not their fault. That is your fault.
Absolutely.
And that is one thing that you could control, even though everything else went wrong.
Yeah.
Because now you're not smiling, all your guests are now thinking, oh my God, did they have an argument yesterday?
Moti problem.
I just saw it argue. Okay. So that's one word of advice for me. Look, it's something so simple to do. Smile. Enjoy your wedding, guys, right? It's everyone has their say, everyone has input. You have to one day on your wedding day, especially, it's your day. Forget the noise. Go in there, get married.
Absolutely.
Because you know what? Half the people, I don't mean to be rude, but half the people, once that wedding ceremony is finished, half the people are not going to keep in touch with you anyway. Half the people you won't even meet again. Do what you want to do, guys. Yeah, just get out of that ego and just step out in that zone and make something else your new comfort zone. Step out of your comfort zone to make a new comfort zone, and you grow like that, right?
Yeah. Also one thing that I like to just bring it out is that from the beginning I reiterated that Maharaj and the musician should be one that we are friends to them. We need to understand the wedding, how it is done, and once you are given that responsibility, don't worry on the last day saying, Maharaj, khabar nothing karta. So no, because we have discussed everything, we know how everything is going to unfold. And I always say, if the bride is not fully ready, no pressure.
Yeah.
I don't mind 20 minutes late. We can keep the groom sitting on the horse, sitting on the elephant, sitting on the car. No problem. Give him some chai pani, give him some water, tell him to use the toilet, no problem. Right? But we will not start under the bride. She's Lakshmi. It's her day. And we want her day to be memorable and wonderful. And also leave that responsibility to the Maharaj, saying that, look, let's how it is going, and not to be frightened on the day, saying that if I was to speak to the Maharaj, will he be upset at me? No. Maharaj should be somebody to understand your family, to understand your situation, and live. Once the ceremony starts, we just want you to smile, making your grand entrance to this mandap with a big smile in your face, that you'll see by the end your cheeks will be going, oh Bhagavan, my cheeks are really hurting too much, And so that makes the wedding so beautiful and makes it magical, how that day unfolds with so much happiness. And that's all, as a Maharaj, that I want is you to be yourself. And who are you? You are Lakshmi. Be the goddess of fortune. Smile, break your cheeks, and just enjoy the whole occasion.
Amazing.
Yes.
Wow. So, wow. Okay. I'm just taken back. Ram, thank you to you for, and grateful for actually agreeing to join me in this live.
It is a pleasure. And
I've taken up your meditating time. So
meditation, yes.
But this is meditation,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Yes, serving our audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is the best meditation you can ever get.
We're able to make that time, and that time this will serve for many purposes.
Yeah.
And people will see that, and we have got so many people viewing still at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think we have taken so much of that time. And I must say thank you to everybody. And Sagar Bhai, I said we are amazing. Can I? Yes. And that's we are a wonderful team.
Yeah,
together.
We are a good team.
Yes.
No, thank you. Honestly, and as I said, thank you to you guys. For tuning in, especially so late in the evening when you could be easily watching your box sets or whatever it is, time with your family. But you've taken that time, and it's not just on this live. I'm just so grateful to my audience, especially the people that reconnect and people that message me on Facebook and WhatsApp. Trying to reach out to do their own lives. It's something. The reason I keep doing this, and it gives me I have a pride of doing this now in terms of the pleasure of doing it, is because I realized that through the comments that are coming back, it's making me grow, because it's making me realize some things that I didn't know about and why people are going through things. And if I can share that wisdom with everyone else, whether it's through reading books or talking to people, or even taking out the time, just half an hour to talk to people, how wonderful would it be that we can create our own little community.
Absolutely.
And sort of help one another out, and as I said, this is with suppliers. As I said earlier,
I think if they have a question about music and things like that, and they can contact Sagar, right? And if they have a question about wedding ceremonies, why certain things are done, and sometimes they said, Maharaji, can we make it shorter? And then I would say, what? Now there we should understand what are the principles that needs to be followed.
Yeah.
What are the family traditions that we have. So we can see how we can make that as a tailored wedding to the bride and groom, not doing any shortcuts to the principles of the Subha Vivaha according to a Vedic injunction, but just doing maybe leaving out a couple of aspects of the family traditions and things like that. And they can always contact me and ask me. I'm more than happy. You can do it for my Facebook, Pandit Ram Pandey, or Instagram, Pandit Ram Pandey, and or contact you as well.
I mean, Ram has been.
And we can work together on that.
Ram has been tagged into this, so yeah, please, do as Ram said, please feel free to contact Ram if you've got any questions. Just a quick last hello. So Ravi Bhai, hello, Jai Shri Krishna. That's Ravi Bhai Shastri.
Jai Shri Krishna Panditji, Jai Shri Krishna.
Another, how can I put it? Very engaging Maharaj.
Amazing. Ravi Bhai has always got such a smile and the full juice on his face. It is amazing. And he's one of my best friends.
He's a very very, very humble
I say Ravi Bhai, Jai Shri Krishna, and it's just a pleasure.
And Sej, hello mate. Steve, what's up, dude? Asha, and Dina's just said, why not smile? So I'm guessing your messages after us. Why I agree. I got married in India. No one else smiled, but me and my husband did. Amazing.
How wonderful that is.
And that's what matters,
yes,
right? It's the couple should be smiling.
Yes.
Even if anyone else is not smiling and they've got problems.
Yes.
If you two need to keep smiling, you're the one getting married, not them. And Pandit Shamdas.
Yes, Pandit Shamdas from Leicester.
Okay.
A wonderful priest. Wonderful priest.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yes.
And Alexander.
He speaks a very good Gujarati, English, Nepalese.
Okay.
He speaks Bengali. Yeah, he is a jack of all trades. He's a very nice
So
person.
Pandit Bhai, Jai Shri Krishna. It's lovely to Facebook meet you, should I say. I hope we get in touch soon. It'll be lovely to work alongside you as well. Yeah. And then Alexander, hello, my friend. Happy to see you on the live. We met at Ryan's 3-day workshop. Yeah. Ryan Pinnock, much love to him. As I said, he's the one that sort of got me to a level, as well as Tony Robbins, to get to where I am now in doing these lives and putting a smile on everyone's face. So, and so Sejal, smile and the world will smile with you.
That's how
love it. So guys, I'm going to leave it there because we have taken up a lot of your time.
That's right. Yes.
Once again,
I must say,
grateful to my Guruji and my Pandit,
a very close friend, Sagar,
and a very, very close friend.
Yes.
And as I said, I'm very grateful to you guys for tuning in. Remember, keep the sharing going. And as I said, my next live is on Sunday, 1st of September at 7:30 with the amazing Jinal. And we're going to be discussing a topic which is very deep in terms of anxiety, especially now where amongst Indians, mental health is a very big a topic, should I say, not an issue, a big topic.
Yes.
And we're going to go on talking about it, going deeper into talking about anxiety, but we're also going to touch back on our last live, which was on depression, what we got out of that, where we are at now in terms of what we've decided to do with our mental wealth, wealth in terms of growing from mental health, wealth, a bit, tongue twister there. And so we're going to go a little bit more into detail with that, and then we're going to go into the anxiety thing. So if you've got any questions, guys, I do put a live up at least a week before, but if you've got any questions or if you want anything covered, whether it's from this live with me and Ram, and you think us, Ram and Sagar, it would be nice if you talk about the stigma around this, or what can we do about this?
Yes.
I'm sure Ram would be honored to be doing another Facebook live,
absolutely,
where we can go through things. And same with the anxiety, guys. Everyone, especially as I said, the Indian side of things, the problem is guys, especially guys. Girls always chit chat. Girls talk to everyone. Guys, we've realized that they don't talk because of male ego. And I'm the guy, so I shouldn't be telling everyone my story. But trust me, the more you talk, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
So if there's anything that you want to discuss, you don't have to leave it in this group. You can private message me, and we will try and cover that topic for you guys on Sunday. So again, much love. Thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in. And
Jai Shri Krishna. And a very good evening.
Yeah, Jai Shri Krishna, guys. And make sure you share this. And as I said, any comments, we will definitely get back to you. Thank you very much. Thanks for all your comments, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.